What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of DevTalks, where we talk about everything technology and engineering wise in this world with your host, Travian. This week is another one, another good week, another simple week. And we just got a few things to talk about because some things I saw over the weekend that were so cool and dope. I just want to talk to them. So tune into this episode and then we'll really dive into them. All right. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of that, share, and let's dive right in without further ado. Okay, so over the weekend, I've seen some crazy news, some nice news. Who knows? There's a lot of stuff going on. Like, believe it or not, there. I saw a lot of updates on some news articles and things that I want to put together to bring some longer form episodes and such. I got a bunch of that, but also on social media, I have seen so many cool things, and I just want to go over all of them. But the first thing that we're going to start with is something that we talked about recently is that Apple. So Apple recently did a whole event where they had talked about their new releases for iPhone 15s, their watches, and all of the fun jazz. Everybody's excited to go buy the new Apple product and thing. One thing that I never do is one, buy an iPhone as soon as it releases because all I've been using is Apple, so I can't share that knowledge as far as Android phones and stuff. And two, never update to the new iOS version as soon as it comes out. The new major ones, like if it was like in this case 17 came out, I never update from 16 to 17 as soon as 17 drops. I normally give it some time because there's normally a lot of bug and security fixes that goes on right after, and they drop these extra like point whatever updates right after, and I just wanted to be in a more stable position before I download it to my phone and update it properly. So those are the two things that I never do. Because and another why this started mainly is I remember when the iPhone 3 was coming out, 3 or 4. It was probably when the 4 was coming out because the 3 was a little thicker. So I believe it was like 4 or 5 when, dang, we've been through that many iPhones already. Uh, time flies, but when they first made the iPhones thin, and I've seen the videos of the people going out to the stores and bending them and things like that. There's just something that I never did because iPhone learns from these stuff and stuff. Obviously, nobody's bending phones anymore, and sometimes there's issues with that come with things. Recently in the event, I had did a video on what Apple was doing, and they were talking about the new titanium and aluminum that was used in the 15s, the pros and stuff, on how we'll be able to conduct heat a lot better and how it's going to manage like heat from the phone, whether it's from charging or all of that stuff. And apparently, the new phones are overheating a little bit unexpectedly and stuff. So that's something that they're in the midst of fixing. And I said it myself. I said, if this is something that's true, that would be so cool because my 12, when I charge it, overheats all the time. Like it overheats all the time. My 12 Pro is just overheating. Every time I charge it, damn near, I'm getting a when it gets to around 80 something percent, it is alerting me that my phone is overheating and it needs to cool down before it continues to charge it more. And this new phone comes out, and under the impression that they set at their event is that, hey, it's going to be able to conduct heat a lot better and things like that. And that is very important. I don't understand how people don't think it's important. I don't want a phone burning in my pocket or anything or in my hand. I feel like that's not really healthy uh, for your skin and for your body to have something that can heat up like that right next to you. Um, and whether you're using a charging pack and things like that, that's something else that I've experienced where you put the magnetic pack on the back of your phone and it charges. And now even when you're being able to share battery and stuff, I love Apple phones, and trust and believe I would love to have a sponsor for them whenever I could have it. But that is a big no-no for me. I can't have something blowing up in my pocket, and it just won't feel right to me personally. So that was just some major stuff that I seen go out. Even Marquise Brownlee talked about it briefly. I even seen some of the Apple people talk about they're working on this. So I hope this is something that gets fixed very shortly, because I will really appreciate that more than anybody knows. But now, the more exciting news, and it's more on a happier note and stuff like that. Um, I saw two things relative to football this weekend, and watching football, and it was probably amazing, but there could still be stuff worked on. The first thing was, so the NFL started this thing for Andy's Room Toy Story thing, where they made the football players into toys and just ran the same plays, and it was like the football game and toy thing version. One, their camera angles were kind of messed up. Throughout the game, there's some really bad camera angles and things where you can't, where if the kid was watching it, if somebody was watching it, you couldn't really fully enjoy it, but it looked really cool. Like the times when it was right, it looked very cool. It seemed pretty accurate and stuff. And I really wanted to dig into how I really want to dig into how they were able to do that. Obviously, it's some like machine learning training things where it's taking the images live, and this is another thing. It's taking images live, and they're converting these real life people into toys stuff, and have to move the animations exactly to it. It's a lot of work, and it's probably hard to manipulate this to work on this live basis, like, and have it fluently run. And mind you, this was the first time they've done this. So for first time goes, it was pretty cool, but you can see that they had a lot of work to do. Like, obviously, the average adult football fan isn't going to sit there and watch the whole thing, because it was quite messed up through a lot of portions and stuff like that. So, I mean, what can you do at that point? But overall, that was amazing. Just to see, like, I really am excited to see how it can go, because this can get a lot of like kids, like younger kids, into football. Like, I believe I probably would have gotten into football a lot sooner if I had something like that working as a kid. Like, not super messed up how it was, but it was, and like Toy Story came out when I was a child, and if a movie, if the NFL can take a movie that's out for the kids right now and somehow incorporate their games to be relevant to the recent movie that these kids are watching at the time, and do it, oh my gosh, it would be amazing. It would be amazing. And they could only do it for, like, I believe ESPN games, because Disney owns ESPN, and all the trademark stuff and things. Unless they, because but they do stuff for Nickelodeon and stuff for certain games and whatever. But man, I tell you, like, they are on the track for something. Like, if they can keep this up with the times, like, this was cool as a starter, because a lot of kids know Toy Story, of course, and but at the same time, even a lot of older people who are watching football know Toy Story. So when they see certain stuff, they think it's cool. But I feel like this main objective is to get a lot of kids into watching football early, and this is definitely a start, and it can become something way better once when they incorporate more movies and different things like that into these games. I feel like that will really break into getting a lot of more children into the games. Now, for the last thing, another thing I saw was in Vegas. I don't know. I feel like I've talked about this place before. It's the Sphere in Vegas that shows all of the colors and stuff like that, and they put like memes all the way around. They can put anything on the sphere, but you can actually go inside of it. And I saw that people were inside of it there watching the football game, and it's basically like another stadium or entertainment place that people can host concerts. You can get so creative with the concerts that can go inside of there, or even watch football games. And I honestly, got upset